You want to make it.
Welcome to the Check Ball Podcast. I am your host, Melvin Williams. Today's special guest is KK Arnold, a three-time AP State Player of the Year in the state of Wisconsin, a two-time USA Gold Medalist, and also McDonald's All-American. She was also invited to the Nike Women's Expo as well. And there's a lot more going on with her that we will be talking about here today. KK, thank you for taking time out of your day joining us on the Check Ball Podcast. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Most definitely. Thank you. Mom, how are you doing? I would like to say thank you as well for, all your communication and, just the way that you presented, the family on social media and the public. I love to see it. I appreciate everything that you have done for me and Team NDS Media as well.
Thank you, Coach Williams. Great. Glad to be here.
Thank you. KK, we start the podcast off by asking an icebreaker question. I will give you two questions. You can answer both or you can answer one of the two. The first one will be, if you have any pregame rituals, what are they? And if you have a favorite music artist to listen to, who would that artist be?
Okay, so pregame ritual of mine that I have to do. My parents know they get sick of it sometimes. Is my TikToks. I gotta do at least one or two TikToks before a game, or like anything, like any camp or anything. I gotta hit a TikTok. And then for like music artists, like a person I listen to the most before a game, it definitely has to be Rod Wave or any old school R&B. So yeah.
Okay. Old school R&B. Who is your favorite old school R&B artist? And what's your favorite Rod Wave song?
Favorite Rod Wave song. Let me see what I have to do.
It's tough, I know, because he got a lot of hits.
I want to say The Greatest by him, by Rod Wave, that song. And then old school, would you agree with Aaliyah?
That's who you listen to.
Yeah, I listen to Aaliyah.
That is definitely a great one to hear. May Aaliyah RIP. She was definitely taken too soon, but she definitely left us with some great music and timeless music as well. You said Rod Wave, the greatest. You are definitely one of the greatest women basketball players from the state of Wisconsin. First, before we get into all that, what actually brought you to the game of basketball when you were younger?
Definitely had to be my siblings, but especially my sister. Growing up, I was always with her. You can ask my mom. Like, sometimes they'll mistake her for my mom. So like I just follow her around the gym, and she took me to like most of her practices, workouts, and stuff like that. And I attended most of her AAU tournaments and everything. So being around that type of atmosphere early on, really just opened my eyes for me and just basically what I wanted to do growing up as well. So.
Definitely, and I'm glad you definitely chose that route. If the family was to have a competitive basketball game, everyone in their prime, who would come away victorious?
I'm not gonna say that because no, I think okay. I'm gonna be respectful. I'm gonna say my brother, just because he was. I won't give him his props. I'm gonna say my brother or my older sister. They'll be battling out. I think I'll come in good third place.
Okay. The good third place. I caught that. Okay. For sure. Definitely. That's what's up.
Hold back on her, right? They're not gonna give her.
They don't. I don't believe they never have. That's why she became the great player that she is.
That's right.
For sure. We know, for some that don't know the story was UConn at an early age. What was it about the University of UConn that attracted you the most?
So when I first visited UConn, it was definitely just like the atmosphere of everybody there, and it's just like so welcoming when you walk around campus. Like they didn't even know I was a recruit, but they saw actually like they did know I was a recruit, but like they didn't know like of course like who I was, but of course they just looked at me and they said pick here like stuff like that, encouraging words, and then just along with the people there, the players, along with Paige, AZ, and everybody, they made me feel comfortable when I went on the visit, and just like the coaching staff, having one of the top best coaching staffs in the nation with college women's basketball. So that's definitely like a no brainer for me as well.
Let's talk about your high school basketball career, your legendary high school basketball career that you had at Germantown High School. Um, your senior year, you averaged 23 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. And those are pretty much your career averages. And you ended up finishing with 2,458 career points, which put you sixth all time on the state scoring list, 765 rebounds, 695 assists, 415 steals, and 8 career triple doubles, with two coming into the 2023 state tournament this year. Let's talk about you, your preparation, and what helped you become the player that you are.
Definitely growing up, I had I want to say like my dribbling and everything, like my ball handling was always there, but working on different parts of my game, I have to give props to my dad as well. He helped me out a lot, and different seeing different parts of my game and growing up watching some of the top players like Skylar Diggins, all the top point guards, to help me shape my game and see what I want to be and want to play like. So definitely those, and then just being in the gym 24/7, like endless days, endless nights. You can even ask my mom. Some days she'll be like, "We're going to the gym at this time of night," So different things like that just to help me become what I am today.
For sure. What is it about basketball that you love? When you get in the gym, what is it about the game of basketball that you just lose yourself in it?
I definitely say like the endless opportunities basketball has for you and different people you meet. I can't even name all the mentors and great people that I've met over the years that helped me and helped me become like who I am right now today. And just the help of those people giving me encouraging words, help me lead up, tell me to say like what to do or like how to help my game grow and everything like that.
Mom is definitely a huge, support system for you, just like the family as well. But we can see the relationship that you and mom have, and that's great to see a mom-daughter relationship that you two have. The communication, the love that's there. What's the greatest advice mom gave you? Basketball advice.
That's a hard one. Let me think of it. Let me think of the list. Mm, I would say, I love hearing this from her before every game. Don't let up. That's the best advice she gives me for every game. And just that goes along with life too. Like, don't ever let up. Always keep your eye open and everything like that. So I definitely props to mom for that one. Thanks.
For sure. That is definitely great advice. Never give up. Keep your eyes open. Like I said, that definitely applies to life as well. Speaking of that advice, keep your eyes open, right? Never give up. How did you apply that on the basketball court? I mean, we know basketball is always a game of runs, it's adversity, it's challenges, new teammates, getting building chemistry. Speak about how, never giving up, keeping your eyes on the prize, keeping your eyes open, help you, learn your teammates, learn, how they play basketball.
So definitely. So with either team, like you said, you get put in different opportunities in different positions. Especially my high school team this year, them being younger, I had to approach them differently. Be kind of like grow up and be a leader for them this year. Like I said, how young they are. So different situations. Like if we took a tough loss or something like that, tell them that we got to get the next one, and tell them how to approach. Um, how to approach adversity. Like you said, there was tough times during the season. Where we take a loss and they didn't know like what to do, how to think. And, they think the season's over. But, telling them, to push through and getting where we got to, state semifinals was somewhere no one think we were going to get. So, getting to that position really opened their eyes and, showed them, that anything is possible with our team, with anybody. And you just got to put in the work, especially the endless practices, so we had some tough practices during the year. But we fought through and got where we were. So just definitely those things. You always have to just stay together.
speaking of the leadership, like I said, it was a young team, and you displayed your leadership not just on the court, off the court as well, with your personality, being engaging with the fans, on social media. Would you speak about the mindset of the team, how they fed off your leadership?
Definitely. So every time, I would say every time they see that, they get happy, they get smiles, and for me, I always bring a smile to the table. I can't never, if you see me without a smile, then it's just like something's wrong. So I never go out with a smile. And, if they don't see a smile, that means they see a competitive energy and type of me. So that keeps them going as well. But different things like that, just to keep my teammates going, and then also just at tough times as well. If I'm having a rough game, them picking me up and knowing what to do with those types of situations really helped as well.
Most definitely, like you said, the smile, that is definitely your signature, along with your basketball game, So I may not have ever seen you not smiling on social media, and even during the games, you play the game with so much joy, and it's a pleasure to see that you find fun and just even through the hard times, you still find positive, through the game, through the season, and things like that. Your sophomore year, you led Germantown to a state championship. Your sophomore year, you won State Player of the Year, and from there, the accolades from the hard work paid off, right? Would you speak about the experience winning a state title your sophomore year, please?
It definitely was one of a lifetime experience, especially during that time. It was COVID year, so fighting with that adversity of playing with the mask on, never knowing, if we're gonna get a crowd or not, if we're gonna get our parents to be able to watch the games and different situations like that of how to adjust. But that was definitely one of the toughest years, I'll say, and one of the toughest years in terms of like, we knew everybody was coming back, but how the season would go just because of COVID and how it would be affected. But like you said, we went in there was saying like after we lost to Brookfield Central that year, we had said, well, Jalen Acker, one of the leaders, and Natalie had said, we're not losing no more games. We're in the mindset of like that. We're gonna work hard and we're gonna keep going. And I think that speech by her, by one of the seniors, definitely just helped us push through and get to me as well. Me being, of course, one of the still younger ones on the team, that helped me, become a higher leader and become a voice for the team as well. That we're gonna make it. And that state championship game, like many people saw, we let up. I don't know. We were down by how much we were down by? Like
12.
Yeah, we were down by
At
like
one
12 at one point, and something clicked after a timeout we had and during halftime that we're not losing this game. We came all the way here. We're not going nowhere. So I want to say that clicked with us and got us a gold ball. So I couldn't be even more grateful for that year.
Most definitely, and it was a legendary performance, that you put on, and the team put on as well. It was definitely a total team win, great coaching as well. Um, your junior year, senior year, obviously for every athlete in your sport, the ultimate goal is to win, right? The ultimate, the biggest game of the year, state championship, NBA final, NCAA championship, whatever it may be. What did you take from your experiences not winning that you carried over to just continue getting better as a team and just going forward in life?
Definitely. So those years, of course, that we didn't win, it made me work harder. It made me realize, nothing is guaranteed, and we're gonna play tough teams against the road. That goes along with at the next level as well. Being a part of UConn, I know we're gonna lose some games, but it's just how am I gonna respond back to it, and just different situations like that shape me. And like I said, it helped me work harder. I gotta say, like junior year was definitely a struggling year in terms of like my shooting, my 3-point jump shot in an area I lacked in. So from that point on, I worked on different parts of my game that I needed to really exceed in for the following year, which a lot of people saw in my senior year was my shooting ability, and definitely just my leadership ability. Yep, in the All Iowa Attack, one of my AAU programs that I joined my last year. Coach Dixon, he definitely helped me, build that confidence. And I gotta say, I remember like one game he told me I'm strictly shooting. I'm not attacking the basket. He's just gonna have me shoot it, just to build that confidence and instill that confidence in me that I can shoot the ball and I can be an all-around player. So going into that, helping that summer, and just going into my senior year really showed how all parts of my game are really coming into pieces like that. So.
Most definitely. And that's a coach's job, right? It's more than X's and O's and the game. It's about, building the team up, finding how to connect with them to get them going. And to hear you speak about your weaknesses, a lot of players, will not admit that they have a weakness, right? But you said it's so comfortable, right? What was it about, being able to accept criticism, constructive criticism, that really helped you?
Mm, just definitely looking at, like I said, me watching film on myself and me realizing, and especially having parents who are, as I would say, as passionate as you. Speaking of my father about different things about game, them in my ear about that type of support, and it's just that's what comes with life. You're gonna have battles. You're gonna have different areas that you're not really good at, but you just gotta learn how to learn how to play the game and learn how to learn from those mistakes and get better at them. So that was one thing that I took from that. And just you have to grow as a player, like I said. And going into my freshman year, there's stuff I'm lacking, of course. I'm going to be playing against some of the best coming into my freshman year. So just learn how to adapt and learn how to play at the college level and be a better player, be a better person, be a better teammate, and everything like that. It's going to help me, not only on the court but in life as well.
For sure. And I want to let it be known, mom have definitely said between her, dad, and the siblings, you are the most humblest one, that can just take the criticism and be calm and cool, collected. She said everybody else, you know, they coming with it. So I'm sure being the parents and the siblings, you really heard the true, raw, uncut criticism.
I definitely
For
did.
sure.
Just
For sure. For sure. Let's move on to, again, hard work pays off. Again, you three-time AP Wisconsin State Player of the Year, Preps Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American. You again the Nike Women's Camp Elite Camp as well, and you have been able to represent the United States of America in three-on-three basketball competition, international basketball competition as well. So you've been able to experience different levels of basketball even before you hit stores and attend UConn. What has it been about all these different experiences, playing with different players, and just being recognized for your hard work?
wait, can you repeat that ending again? Sorry, I couldn't hear it.
Would you speak about your experiences, playing with different players from, different parts of the country, coming together, and just your experiences, being rewarded for your hard work?
That's definitely, like you said, one of the best things that a player can be a part of is playing against along some of the best. And like I've been played against Michaela Williams, Juju, Sahara Williams, all top players like those. So seeing them and playing with them as well, and honestly like learning from them, seeing what they do is really have helped my game as well. Those tough practices during USA, I can remember, very tough us going at it 5-on-5, scrimmaging and stuff like that gets you prepared. Not only for the next level, but ready for the next game. We play against some of those teams from other parts of the world. And then 3x3 was another whole level, really exploiting your game of defense, being able to defend one on one, being able just to defend period helps you a lot. In 3x3, I'll say, one of the best opportunities that I've had, definitely. So
Like I said, one of the best opportunities you have had. You have been blessed with one of the few, to win a state championship, to win two gold medals, and to be a McDonald's All-American, and to be able to go to attend this famed University of UConn and play for Gino Oriana, right? Coach Gino Oriana. Um, would you just speak about, I mean, you're supposed to look back at your career and see where you started to where you got to what hard work pays off for. Would you just speak about knowing that you're a state champion, the gold medalist, you will be attending the University of UConn. Just how does it feel to be a champion and look as one of the best players in your era?
I I really don't have no words. Like, of course, like looking back at it, I started to realize and look back, how fast time went and how much I have accomplished, like you said, over the past 4 years of high school and beyond that, before middle school and times like that. I'm just glad I left my mark as a great person a great player for the state of Wisconsin, and I'm gonna keep making them proud as well. Going on to college, my next 4 years at UConn, but just a great career I had, and I couldn't be more blessed by the coaches that helped me coach, from Coach Cox, Coach Stuvey, Coach Milmo, Coach Z, and all those coaches from high school. And, coaches before that, all my trainers and everybody. So I'll just say I'm grateful for everything that's come. So.
For sure. Let's move on to UConn. Um, the expectations playing at the University of UConn for Coach Gino, one of the premier basketball schools in sports, right? In basketball. Um, what are you looking forward to playing for Coach Gino?
One of the things I'm definitely looking forward to is his coaching style, and how he's very straightforward with you, and I think that'll help me too. Being like having a coach like Coach Gino. Of course, he doesn't care. He won't take any crap from you. He'll keep it honest with you. So having that type of coach in your corner, and then just knowing he'll push you to the best of your ability. Some days, even if he's quiet, being able to attend practices and see how he coaches and see how he, responds to one of the top guards like Nika Mule, him watching him respond to her and how she responds to him, different stuff like that. I'm very excited for, and just being able to play with the team and learning from the team.
Speaking of that, having the opportunity to, build a relationship, with the players and with Coach Gino. Would you speak about, just how it's been, the communication part of it, things that he may have taught you about, college basketball and just to help you as a basketball player?
Definitely. So, of course, having conversation with him as he watched me over the years with AAU, and then just being at practices, like I said, visiting with him, having talked to them. He's keeping very honest with me, saying, you got to come in, you got to earn it, you got to prove yourself, but you're going to have teammates that has your back, and he's going to have your back as well. So things like that. And he always says to me, it's always going to be a challenge as well. And one thing he loved in me as a player is, like anybody else said, the smile on my face, and then what I'm going to bring to the table, especially defensive side of things. He's really been, he really pointed out how best my defense is and how he's excited for that. So I just can't wait for bringing that to the table, just a point guard setting as well to UConn. So.
And speaking of that, being a point guard, I remember, I think it was last year, basketball, someone who I guess likes basketball, say they like basketball or just don't understand basketball, made a comment and said that you wouldn't be able to score against bigger players, right? And I saw that you had pinned that at the top of your profile on Twitter. You've been scoring against bigger players your whole career. When you see comments like that being made, you're KK Arnold, you're a star. The hate is gonna come, right? But they say when negativity, you're doing something right? You're going to UConn, Big East, expectations on the road. How do you respond to comments like that? You will not be able to score against bigger defenders.
I don't necessarily respond. Like I said, that comment, I just had to pin it. But how I'm going to respond is with my game. I'm going to let my game speak for myself and let the people think what they think. But, after they see me play and after the energy and everything they see I bring to the table, then maybe, they'll, dial it down a little bit. But like you said, it's always going to be haters in some corners. So I just let it be. But that one definitely had to be pinned.
For sure, most definitely. Let's talk about the roster that you will be playing with your future teammates at UConn. We got Ozzie Fudd, you got Aaliyah Edwards, you got Paige Buchanan, right? What are you looking for from the experience with future teammates?
Definitely just, like I said before, learning from them and, learning from their, freshman year experiences and how they dealt with, adversity, like you said, especially at that type of level, and just being excited to play alongside of them. In just different areas and having fun with them as well, learning how their game is and learning how to adapt, me being a point guard and me, fitting in where I fit in and how to communicate with them and just getting constructive criticism by them as well to help my game grow and flourish for the next 4 years at UConn. So.
For sure. What do you feel is the biggest difference between, AAU basketball, high school basketball, and you haven't experienced playing college basketball, but you've been around great basketball minds? What do you feel would be the biggest challenge for you as a player from high school basketball to D1 college basketball?
Um, I just gotta say, for me, like I know like how how hard the work has to be for college, but I think the one thing for me is just adjusting to, I want to say like schedule, time management, stuff like that. But besides that, I think if I just work hard and put my mind to it, everything will be fine. Everything will go as hand. But that's just one thing is getting used to the East Coast and getting used to UConn's campuses, classes, and everything. Worry about that. So I'm a student first. Getting adjusted to my classes, knowing where they are and stuff like that. So
And the academic athlete you are. So let's definitely shout you out and congratulate you for the hard work and commitment, that you do put in the classroom with your academics as well. So that is definitely most important, that we congratulate you for as well.
thank you.
You're welcome. Let's speak about women's basketball. You being a women's basketball player, women's sports as a whole is definitely, taking off. It's getting more respect. People are now being more accepting of women's sports as a whole. You are helping grow the game of basketball. You are helping grow, women as a whole, women empowerment, and I love it. Would you speak about how you use your platform not to just grow you, but to grow women in general?
Definitely with that, just telling, like you said, younger girls behind me, younger girls below me, telling them, we have a platform, we have a voice as well. And then just, having players like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that game really, the NCAA championship game really opened people's eyes in terms of like, what women's basketball is all about, how competitive it really is, and, what we are about on and off the court, just representing us well. And just that thing as well, just representing well. I think with that piece, it's, that'll get us far with branding, NIL, all these types of different things going on. We can really help get our voices out there about women's basketball and how important it really is, and help our younger generation as well behind us. So.
Thank you for that. Speaking of NIL, you're in the position, to have possible NIL deals. Right? Would you speak about, the opportunities that NIL deals can create that will help grow the women's game? Like we heard, Angela Reese say that she would probably just stay in the college through her senior year because she would probably make more money of NIL deals in college than she would in the WNBA. The top player in the WNBA is what, 250K. Would you speak about how NIL will help grow the women's basketball with women staying around in school 4 years? Because I do feel it will help the men's game as well. Everyone can't go to the WNBA. Everybody can go to the NBA. How do you feel NIL will help just grow college basketball?
It definitely helped. Like you said, the money we're getting and the money different players are getting is create more opportunities for us to distribute it and put it in a place where it needs to be. So, like you said, like maybe different organizations being held that needs to be brought up. WNBA teams, how more teams need to be created for that side of things, and maybe a different league instead of us. That conversation has been up as well. How women have to go straight to the overseas to play and average more money and get more money. So different situations like that we can help with and put more money towards. But just growing the game as well with our money and having the opportunity just to have that thought in our head. What can we do so to help?
For sure, and like you said, women's March Madness tournament have 9.9 million viewers. So the the evidence is there. That women's basketball, women's sports is definitely growing. Like you said, the LSU Iowa National Championship game put it on full display. And that was great for the game. And shout out Kobe, may he RIP. Kobe was definitely very instrumental. In putting a lot of focus and growing women's basketball. You have like Maya Moore and different women, former players who's also, putting in a huge effort in growing the game. Would you speak about, players like Maya Moore, Sue Bird, players who are using their platform, to grow the game as well?
Definitely. One of my like my mom knows one of my biggest inspiration was Sue Bird, but especially Maya Moore growing up, watching her and what she has done on the platform and what she did to help man wrongfully accused her using that platform for a different use, and then just Sue Bird having different voices for outside women's game, helping broadcast the game, which brought a lot of streamers as well, but a lot of viewers, having her commentary with Diana and all those different things just to help out the game, and her posting and making different opportunities for young children and teams, AAU programs. Outside of all that, it's really helping shape the women's game as it is. So.
For sure. Um, we got a few more minutes left with you again. I'd like to say thank you for taking time out of your day, joining us here on the Check Ball podcast, so that we could recognize you for your many contributions, not to just sport, but to the culture as well. And with that, your senior year is graduation is weeks away, and when we're talking basketball, you are mentioned with some great elite talent when it comes to women's history in Wisconsin basketball. Names like Arike Ogunbowale, Misty Bass Boyd, Janelle McCarville, Sonia Henning, Samantha Logic, Keisha Anderson. How does it feel to be mentioned with the greats of Wisconsin of women basketball?
It's definitely an honor, and I got asked that question before. How does it feel to be, amongst the greatest to come through Wisconsin? And I just say it's an honor. And then, of course, having the opportunity to be in conversation with one of them, which is Enrique. Her, having opportunities to work out with her and learning from her as well. Learning from how she dealt with adversity during her high school years and things like that. That really helped me, and just realize how great of a thing this is, and me being a part of that great list of people like you named. So.
For sure. And speaking of that, Wisconsin is always overlooked for a lot of things. But we're talking basketball, right? You've been able to go around the world and not represent the Arnold family, Germantown High School, but the state of Wisconsin as well. And we know that Wisconsin is a hotbed state when it comes to recruiting. You look in the men's and women's game, right? Do you take it, personally, if you have heard comments about Wisconsin and basketball players? Because Wisconsin has definitely been holding it down in basketball. Do you hear comments about Wisconsin and basketball?
I hear like little comments like I remember I was at this camp. They said Wisconsin has a lot of great hoopers, and we have too much publicity, and not to say like we don't have as much as other states do. So I put my little 2 cents in and started joking with them. But I'm pretty sure like everybody's aware that Wisconsin has hoopers, and they're starting to realize now, like you said, from players like me, players like Ali Zebo in the state right now, which is gonna be my future teammate as well, and then players like Enrique that open people's eyes all around, and like the boys side Patrick Baldwin and all those great players that came through Wisconsin. So I think people are starting to open their eyes way more, but like you said, I think it's still a slept on state. So.
Most definitely. One last question before we get up out of here, and this is a fun question. We know you are a TikTok star. You love dancing. What would be the first dance that you would teach Coach Gino?
Oh, you might have to stay tuned for that one. I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
I'm to figure out an easy one for him to do. But he
Okay.
started some moves after this season. He popped a little moves. He came out with a little something during some of the games. So I gotta see what he's capable of.
For sure. Closing words is yours, ma'am. What advice would you like to give all future young girls that want to play basketball?
You talking to me, Coach Mello?
Both, please.
Okay. I think for me is again just believe in you, right? Understand who you are and know who you are and stick to that. From my perspective, I think you'll always have naysayers, right? As I think KK coming up had some of those, lots of those, but being taught and learning to just understand that again, basketball is an avenue, it's a path. Um, and you use that avenue and that path, as you just kind of talked about, to get to where you were trying to get to. And you just never let anyone kind of step in the way of what you dream of, right? What you are, you have been built for. I always tell her God has a purpose and plan for everyone. And you stick true to yours and the path that he has defined for you, and you'll be okay. So that's what I would give to our young people today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I would just say never let anyone say like you can't do something. Always believe in yourself, and having a family, having anybody in your corner, motivating you and telling you can do it. Working hard. That's what you need to have. Don't worry about like my mom said, don't worry about the naysayers outside of that. They don't have an opinion. They can't tell you you're gonna make it or not. Because I had, like I said, growing up, I had plenty of people who said it, and now they looked at me and they're like, oh wow. So you're always gonna have haters or anything like that, but just keep it humble, keep grounded, and stay grounded. And, just work hard. Let your work speak for itself.
Most definitely. Love and humbleness with all the success that you have had as a player. I mean, you carry yourself with high character. Keep smiling, keep being who you are in the community. We know who you're going to be on the basketball court. We know who you're going to be in the community as well. Continue blessings for you and any future endeavors and that's going to come your way. And to the Arnold family, thank you. I appreciate all of you for your support and the communication throughout the years. And I definitely look forward to continue supporting KK and her future as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Go Steelers.
Most definitely. Yes, ma'am. Go Steelers. The big drop is coming, so we're going to see what we do in the draft.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. On behalf of USC Elite Basketball, we would like to thank KK Arnold and the Arnold family for joining us here on the Check Ball podcast so that we can recognize her for her many contributions, not to just the sport of basketball, but to the culture as well. Everyone continue being the difference that you want to see in the world and continue blessings.